So here in Glue, I will select here the AWS Glue, and we're gonna start to use the ETL jobs, right? So in the first time we're here, we have to do this. We can create the data connections before. We can create the data catalogs, will be the database and the tables with the source data go directly for, but we can do all this stuff ongoing when I use the ETL jobs. And here I have two ways to building the pipeline. I have the visual way. It just look like a drag and drop to do these data manipulations. First, I have to set the source and do the treatment, and after the target. Or I can use a script, for example, using Python with the Spark context. So this is some possibles to write to make this ETL here. So we're gonna use the visual ETL. First time we can set the name here. So I'm gonna call them job SQL Server. So right now I will add the nodes, right? So the first node I have here, we have the integration of SQL Server Microsoft here. So after select this node, I can click on that and I will create my connection for do that. So I can click here, for example, and I have any connections here. I will keep selecting JDBC because it's through that we're gonna make this connection with your source. So I will click on create a connection. I will call in as SQL Server connection type will be JDBC. I will put my JDBC URL here. Okay, driver class name I'm not gonna set neither the JBS driver S3 path because I have the possibilities to upload a specified driver to do this connection. So in my case, I'm not go do that. So I will select the AWS Secret Manager. As I said before, it's not the best practice to put your user and password directly on the nodes on the script. So I will click here in AWS Secret Manager. I will click and start a new secret. In secret type, I will select credentials for other database. In the username, I will put the username and the password here. Okay, encryption key is not gonna need. I will select the SQL Server here. I will set the server address. It's already here because I made a test before. So database is the base in my part. Okay, I can click next and I will set the name as secret SQL Server. SQL is gonna be wrong here. Okay, so I can click on next once again and start. So here is the same code when I use and not just only for the AWS Glue, but in another application, you can get the Secret Manager keys through this code here. So I have some examples here. For example, using Python. So I will click in start. Okay, we have the secret key here. Now I can update and select the secret SQL Server. We have to select this network options here because we're gonna make this connection with the structure of the VPC we created before. So I will select the VPC. I know it's that because this is another from the Redshift, but to be sure, you can go the VPC here and see the end of the ID of the VPC. So for me, it's A7. And the subnet, I will select the private subnet because we made this connection on a private subnet and the structure of the network we constructed before is going to be responsible to make this connection with the public IP on the Microsoft Azure, right? So let me see the name of the private subnet here. So the private subnet ends of the C0. So I will select here C0. And also the secret group, I will select as default. So one thing's have to do in mind. So some problems have disconnection here. The subnet has to be disconnection with the S3. So we have to do this endpoint that when I create before using the VPC and more with all this pipeline of automatic creation of the network that was set before endpoint to S3. So sometimes I'm gonna see some errors here. It's gonna one of the things could be that, and also we have the security group. Security group we have this when I have these permissions for any parts inside your transition and communication of the network. So it's important to have free for any PV4 the traffic, because if you don't have that, it's gonna do work in the right way. So I can click create connection. But as I said before, and I use the VPC, all the automated way to do this network settings, they're responsible to do all that. So I can click in create connection. Okay, I can return here in the Glue editor and update it, and I will select the SQL Server con. Okay, so the table name here on your database is dbo dot, this is a name in Portuguese, pedidos lojas. It just look like orders star. Okay, so we have to set some job details here. I will select and we can make this manipulation of the computing for background of these job services. So the first thing, I will select the EMN row that we create is gonna be Glue row. Also, the request number of the works is the parallel processment of the data of the machines can start to do that. For this test, it just put in 2. The another one I will not change. So I guess is that before we run that, because we will have ensure with this connection is working. So I can click and save, and after that I will click and run. Before we do any manipulations, it's just to do the troubleshooting of the test of the network. So you can ask for me, Rodolfo, we can do this test using this connection service that you create before. Yes, we can do that, but particularly I don't like the troubleshoot, the logs, the output logs that the test for these connections bring to us. I prefer to use it here to run a pipeline and do this troubleshoot and Glue, using Glue, because for me it's more we have more information about what's going on with our job, right? So I will click in runs. I click in run that, so I can see the Glue here. It's running. Every time you're gonna use the new running, they have a little delay to do that, because we're gonna start the machines and make these connections of the Spark from background of this job. So it's everything okay, right? So it's gonna be delayed to start here. So we had a problem here because I forgot to habilitate to give the permissions for our public IP inside the AWS and the Azure in the SQL Server. I don't do this connection because in the SQL Server I have to pass the IP. It's be able to do this connection. So I will, in the Azure right now, I will click in my SQL Server here. After I will click in network. This is in Portuguese it's gonna call rede here, but it's network. My Microsoft Azure is not in English right now, but for new videos I will put that. And here I will set a new firewall rule here. I will add a new rule. I will call as Glue, and I will select here in my subnet and elastic IPs my IPv4 IP for the disconnection. So this is the name of your VPC, right? So I can copy here and paste on our IP. So I will click in create, I will save, okay. So right now I'm gonna do this another test. You see, that was I talking about, because when you have the troubleshoot in this connection of the glue, it's not so verbally with a lot of sentence here as it has in glue. So you tell me why? I don't know. This is something about the AWS. But right now I can run once again. Let me see if I have another problem. Also gonna be succeed. So great, we have a succeed job here. So this connection is doing well. So we can return here to visual. That's something that I said before. When I use the dialog flow here to build all these nodes and do this connection, they gonna create a script here. So if you have some more practice using Python and would like to have more control of the pipeline, you can use the code here. So we use the Spark context to do this manipulation on the background of your job ETL here in Glue. So it's a great thing. Also, we can make a video speak about that, how you can create directly using the script, right?